FNAF was made thanks to a terrible review on one of Scott's other games, Chipper and Sons Lumber Co. And thanks to that one review saying the characters looked like robotic and like animatronics, we received the highly praised series of Five Nights at Freddy's, much to our and Scott Cawthon's joy. That one review set in motion a chain of events that would change the horror genre and be an inspiration to us all, and while on some things we are still divided, the internet has, for the most part, come together in an effort to solve this obscure lore and cement certain things in fact. And we indeed have. Somewhat. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host Connor Monroe, and you don't need a parachute to go skydiving. You need a parachute to go skydiving twice. If you haven't subscribed yet, then what are you doing? Join us for daily gaming content and start with today's list of the top 10 FNAF Springtrap facts. Okay, roll the intro. And at 10, William Afton. I've said it before and I'll say it until the day this stops being an issue. Springtrap contains the body of William Afton inside. We see Purple Guy run into the Golden Spring Bonnie suit at the end of Five Nights 3, where due to the moisture in the air and William's rush, he ended up getting trapped inside thanks to the spring locks, and then he ends up collapsing, but take note, we never really see him die. He's just twitching, as he was in the trailer to that game, and while yes, Michael may be literally purple now, as his flesh decayed after entered him in sister location, just because he's literally purple doesn't mean he's the killer. And just because when Michael says, "I'm going to come find you" at the end of sister location, and then Springtrap appears, that does not mean that Springtrap is him. We see that Michael was at sister location, and this camera movement takes place at Fazbear Fright. That was burnt down by Henry in an attempt to kill William because we all know who did it. William is inside Springtrap, not Michael. Scott even confirmed this when talking about MatPat's timeline after Ultimate Custom Night came out, saying if you're hung up on the whole Will Trap versus Mike Trap debate, watch MatPat's video. And in that video, MatPat says that it is indeed William in the suit, not Michael. There you go, please stop. And at 9, it's a suit. While the Springtrap suit contains William's body, it is still a suit. The Golden Bonnie animatronic was a spring-lock suit, which as Phone Guide tells us is a specially designed suit that doubles as both animatronic and suit. Meaning that the spring-lock mechanics in the Golden Bonnie suit would retract like some form of even more complex Iron Man and create enough room for a person to climb inside and wear like your normal Chuck E. Cheese suit. Obviously, they weren't amazingly designed since there were some flaws. Like when they get wet, the spring locks can close easily, which is why Michael got bit in FNAF 4 and why William got snapped while in the suit. The suit also is clearly meant to be a suit since it has 5 fingers and 5 toes, which the other suits are lacking in favor of 4 fingers and 3 toes. It's even more clear when looking at the secret menu screens for FNAF 3, where on rare occasions you can see a skinless William Afton trying to get out of the suit by prying the head open. Yeah, it's weird. And at 8, secret room. All Freddy Fazbear locations had a secret room, a room that was secret because it was invisible to the animatronics, meaning that while every other room was programmed into their pathfinding, this room wasn't, and because it was never mentioned to any customer. Only employees that were around before they sealed them up. Why did they seal up these rooms? Because William Afton was stuck inside one, and if they just closed the one, that would look kinda suspicious. He was twitching in the Spring Bonnie suit. This is seen in the FNAF 3 final minigame where we see William run into the suit and then collapse. This is the safe room as indicated by the fact that the Shadow Freddy can find it, but you as an animatronic are physically unable to enter because your pathfinding doesn't allow it. William uses this to hide inside and then dismantle you as you try to find him, but he ends up unintentionally releasing the spirits of the children he killed. After he gets snapped in the suit, they fade away, but are only really put to rest when you get the good ending and give Golden Freddy the party she wanted, even if it's not enough for her to let go, which is kinda salty. I mean, like, it must have been a really bad cake. Come on, puppet. Chop chop. And at 7, no head.
So no head?
The suit doesn't have an endoskeleton head, get your mind out of the gutter. It's actually impossible for it too, since even with the crazy advanced tech that these places have, you cannot move an endoskeleton head as they are presented in the games away enough for a normal head that just barely fits inside to fit inside. This is also shown in the menu screens when William is trying to remove the Springtrap head. There is no form of robotic head present. It's his eyes and his meat. How on earth would the face operate in the Springlock suit if there was no proper head? Is it just a different form of robot or like a different arrangement of parts to get everything working more efficiently? Because if that's the case, why isn't that the case with every animatronic? If it costs the company less to manufacture, I'm sure William would be fine with it if not encourage it, since he gets his daily fill of child murder and he saves a little bit of money on the side, so might as well. Well, maybe it's more expensive, but if that's the case, I'm sure it's easier to just make a separate suit than paying extra for a specially designed suit that doubles as both animatronic and suits. Like, just make a separate one. You can still kill kids in it. And at 6, no clear motive. We know that William Afton is the purple guy and that he is the Springtrap and that he is the killer, but what we don't know for sure is why. We know his boy gets chomped and then he sets out to put him back together as a robot, but he was killing kids before that even happened. What we don't know is why he's doing it. We know he sets out to create more Remnant in an effort to unlock the secrets to eternal life or something like that after he discovers Remnant, but why did he start killing kids in the first place? Did one act like Braith and just really piss him off? Was it just something he wanted to try? Is it some weird fetish? He clearly feels emotion since he felt sad after losing his son, sad enough to block out the woman Ballora represents from his life, but we don't know 100% why he killed Susie in the first place. Do you have any theories? Do you have any idea why he could have done it? Let me know in the comments because figuring this one out may be the key to solving the rest of the lore that we haven't really figured out already. And at 5, lie lures. He had to lure kids into the back room somehow, right? So dressed in the Spring Bonnie suit, he told kids all sorts of things to get them backstage. We know he told Susie, the girl who would later possess Chica, that he had her dog that was actually still alive, as indicated by the bleeding dog carcass in the Fruity Maze minigame and the whole Chica the high school year scene where she says, "I told them someone ran over his dog," or something like that.
He'll be mine by the end of the day. I just know it. I told him that someone ran over his dog in front of my house.
So we know he lies to bring kids backstage, where he ends up killing them for at this point unknown reasons, stuffs the bodies into the animatronics to hide them, and then leaves like nothing happened. It's like that meme where Pennywise is talking to Georgie and he's like, "I have brand new Pokemon cards down here," and then Georgie crawls in. Like, you know the one? For me it would be something like, "I have information about Stephen Amell returning as the Green Arrow down here." Or like I once made one that said, "I have all the other Pokemon you can't get in Sword and Shield down here." And that one would honestly get me. Pokemon is the one game that shouldn't need a DLC, okay? Forgot this was a FNAF list. And at 4, Scrap Trap. Scrap Trap is the same as Springtrap. Pink guy is purple guy, is Springtrap, is Scrap Trap, is William Afton. There's an entirely separate debate online that is along the lines of William is Springtrap but Michael is Scrap Trap or something like that, and it's just ridiculous. Why would that be true? The only Spring Bonnie suit we know of is the one that William was inside before the events of Pizzeria Simulator. For those of you who don't know, Scrap Trap is the version of Springtrap you find outside of the pizzeria in the back alley, like where you find Scrap Baby, Molten Freddy, and Lefty. And in accordance to paragraph 4, you bring it inside so that when the pizzeria burns at the end of the week, everyone who needed to be set free with fire, since that's the only way to destroy remnants, can be set free. Scrap Trap is just a further decayed version of Springtrap. It's not a separate character, it's not its own thing, it's not Michael or anyone new. It's Springtrap, it's William, they are all one and the same. And 3, Ultimate Custom Night. We can all agree at this point that Ultimate Custom Night takes place in hell, and we play as William Afton dealing with the torture we deserved for killing all those kids, but specifically the one we should not have killed. However, the confusing thing to me is that in Ultimate Custom Night, while we play as William Afton, we can also play against animatronics like Springtrap and Scrap Trap, which are indeed versions of us. This is confusing to me, but it makes me wonder. Not about Willie being Springtrap, but about what the mechanics of this are. I suppose it could be that he did indeed create that monster, since he hid in the suit to feel more powerful when confronting the spirits, or perhaps it's because it was made of Remnant. Or it could have just been that the characters available are the ones that Afton deemed his greatest failures in his mind. It's even more confusing that in the game code, Scrap Trap is referred to as William Afton. Scott. I know you're clarifying that Scrap Trap is William, but that throws a whole lot more wrenches into this than there should be for a final game in the original story. Come on. And 2, names. Springtrap has gone by many names, some being before the name was known, like when the Five Nights 3 trailer came out, some being just simple mistakes. However, they all existed, and technically you could also say that Springtrap went by all the names that Purple Guy did since they're the same person, but I'm going to ignore that. Springtrap has also been known as, well, Springtrap, William Afton, Michael Afton, Scrap Trap, Spring Bonnie, Golden Bonnie, and most interestingly, hybrid. This name was brought on when the trailer for Five Nights 3 was released, and technically it was right. The fans assumed that hybrid was in fact a hybrid of all the toy animatronics which he used to build himself, which could have been the inspiration for creation from The Joy of Creation. But in fact, Springtrap is just a hybrid of human and animatronic suit, not being entirely one or the other, hence why I refused to put him in the scariest animatronics list, especially since I don't really find him that scary. But Amanda put him on when she took apart, but despite that, I still stand by my viewing. I stand by my reasoning, okay? He's not entirely an animatronic. He's still in the suit. We never see him die. Finally, in at number 1, oldie but a goodie. This suit is one hell of an old suit, not to mention how long William was stuck inside it, but this suit dates back all the way to Fredbear's family diner, which is crazy, and even if they had this technology when that diner was prominent, that makes me even more concerned about how this thing was Iron Man levels of advanced. And while the decay on Springtrap makes that evident, it confuses me as to how it started to break down when Golden Freddy, a spring lock that is as old if not older than Spring Bonnie, seems fine in the first game. I think it's because those holes and rips were in fact made by William when he was trying to escape the suit. We see him trying to pry off the head, so it would make sense why he would have torn off bits of fur or even removed the whole foot in an effort to be set free. What do you guys think about the Springtrap decay? Let me know your thoughts down below.
Number 10, Hollow. It has been confirmed that BB is actually one of the few animatronics to be created as hollow, making him more of a statue really than anything, which wouldn't be scary until you consider that he's kind of like a statue that is alive and still comes alive at night. Potentially also during the day. And I feel like an inanimate object like a statue coming to life and moving around at night is in fact more scary than an object that is already programmed to move moving. Even if they are both kind of intent on killing you. The idea of something moving that you don't even expect to move is definitely more frightening, especially when you go from night 1 of FNAF 2 where he's not even active to night 2 in that game where he becomes super active and really annoying. Well, he is annoying. It's frustratingly frightening how annoying he is. Number 9, the 8th balloon. This one is kind of combo scary and cool. In FNAF 3, there is a minigame called BB's Air Adventure. In the minigame, you play as Balloon Boy and are tasked with collecting balloons. You have 8 balloons to collect, but on the screen you will likely notice that there only appear to be 7 of them, unless you count, of course, the one in your own hand. After you collect all 7 balloons available, the exit will appear. To get to the 8th balloon, you must jump down from the platform above the door, which will actually allow you to exit the entire window the balloons were contained in and fall down onto another screen where you will land in a dark place. As you walk, you'll notice crying balloon boys surrounding what looks to me like kind of a weird, creepy tree. If you walk past this frightening area, you will be rewarded with the 8th balloon and will have successfully completed the task set to you in the minigame. You can also come back to this. There's also a whole other thing in these minigames in FNAF 3 where you can find cake, come back. It's crazy. Number 8, Unknown. The crazy thing with Balloon Boy in FNAF 2 is he is the only one you can't really fully track. His path is short and direct when it comes to what you see on your cameras. All you will see is him at his post in the game area before he moves to the left air vent. His path between those two places, however, is unknown, meaning that there is an amount of time where you can't even really track him on the cameras. This is also frightening because it gives you less time to react and deal with BB's approach. The next destination after the left air vent, of course, is the office, where you are. And you'll see him there in the vent, staring at you. Number 7, Special Delivery. In Special Delivery, BB finally gets a proper jump scare where he can defeat you. Normally in the games, BB does not jump scare you, but more pranks the player and is just a nuisance to you. However, in the augmented reality game Special Delivery, BB is one of the animatronics that can come into your home. Into your home in the game. Not like in real life he's gonna come into your home. Don't worry. That would be very scary. If you don't defeat him in the augmented reality game, he will jump scare you. This is also the only game where he can have an endoskeleton, as you can build your own BB on top of an endoskeleton to send out to salvage or to send to attack your friends. Number 6, Phantom BB. In Five Nights at Freddy's 3, Balloon Boy appears to be one of the other Phantom animatronics in the game. Why is this scary? Have you ever seen Phantom BB? Oh my gosh, he is a lil creep. His eyes glow creepily and he is covered in soot, all charred just like the other Phantom animatronics. You can also just make out his teeth and his buttons. It's just all the shadows always make me wonder. When I can't see things fully, it's more scary than when I can see things fully. You know what I mean? Horror movies, what's scarier? What you can see or what you can't see? And his head looks a little bit like a skeleton. He no longer appears to be holding a balloon or his sign, and he just looks more menacing than his appearance in FNAF 2. Of course, he's not directly BB himself, but kind of a hallucination. But he is still more terrifying and more aggressive than the original BB in FNAF 2. Number 5, Phantom BB Jump Scare. Rah! In FNAF 3, Balloon Boy can also now jump scare you as a phantom. His jump scare is also terrifying. One of the worst things about it is that it appears that Balloon Boy's lower jaw extends far beyond what appears to be normal for him, as his mouth grows abnormally long and wide. It's kind of some Grudge level stuff. He also screams while he jumps towards you. This will happen when he appears to be blocking your view on a camera, if you don't switch to a different cam fast enough or you don't lower your monitor fast enough when you see him. So watch out for that if you are playing FNAF 3. Number 4, pranks. During the Five Nights at Freddy's VR game Help Wanted, we find out that in terms of Balloon Boy's personality, he is referred to as a prankster, which if you played the other games, you may have already caught on to. Now, normally being a prankster wouldn't be considered scary or a bad thing, but let's not forget that Balloon Boy is a terrifying and murderous animatronic, and while he might not always be as direct as some of the other animatronics when it comes to trying to kill you, I feel like he has no qualms teaming up with other animatronics like Foxy in order to prank you. And by prank you, I of course mean indirectly kill you or tamper enough with your flashlight to ensure your death. Number 3, team up. And of course, what makes Balloon Boy even more scary than most animatronics? His teamwork mentality. While, like I said in the previous point, he's more a prankster than anything, he actually makes it almost impossible to survive in FNAF 2 due to the fact that his pranks basically make it impossible for you to defend yourself against Foxy. If he actually gets into the office with you, your survival chances dramatically drop, and he makes it almost impossible for you to survive the night, as you cannot now defend yourself against Foxy. He's really one that you have to keep an eye on, because if he gets into the office with you, you're likely dead meat, unless it's close enough to 6 a.m. that you can somehow survive. You know that you are screwed if you hear his maniacal giggling stuck on a loop. He's just like, ha 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 ha. You're like, shut up, Balloon Boy. Get out of here. What are you doing? I just wish he would reset. Unlike an Ultimate Custom Night where he does reset. Number 2, hi. In FNAF 2, have you ever noticed what sounds like a child giggling or saying hello? I personally thought originally that it was some child spirit or just kids at the restaurant that somehow got stuck there after hours, and I was like, where are these children? Why am I hearing children? But that's actually Balloon Boy. Yep, every time he moves, you will hear a creepy little childlike sound. This is how you're able to track him without seeing him. This information is, of course, as scary as it is useful, but still creepy. He sounds so much like a kid. Originally, I was like, am I imagining that sound? The voice literally sounds the exact same to me as the sound at the end of a successful night when you hear that cheerful, childlike, yay! Number 1, Nightmare Balloon Boy. This is probably the scariest version of Balloon Boy that you will come across in the FNAF franchise. Maybe one of the scariest animatronics you'll come across, period. Nightmare BB first appeared in FNAF 4 in the Halloween Update expansion. His appearance is truly the stuff of nightmares, hence his name. His color scheme is similar, but almost too bright when compared to the original Balloon Boy, whose colors feel a little muted, a little more well-rounded, I guess. He also has rows of sharp teeth, and his mouth is actually so wide, it seems to actually separate the top half of his head from the bottom, which is scary. More room to eat your entire body with. His eyes are also now a bright red as opposed to being the light blue that they were originally, and his voice is lower pitched, which actually I'm not sure which one is more frightening, higher pitched or lower pitched. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you learned some new scary facts about Balloon Boy, or just revisited some of your favorite scary facts about him in this video. Is BB your favorite animatronic? What do you think are some of the scariest things about him? Who is your favorite animatronic from FNAF? Have you played the VR FNAF game? Let us know in the comments below.
And a 10 designed for kids. All Funtime animatronics were designed to entertain kids. However, knowing what we do about the man behind the designs, we know that's not what they were meant for in the long run. Sure, it's an easy facade. It makes sense why these robots would be so close to kids because they're entertaining them. It's what they were designed to do. But when I say designed for kids, what I really mean is designed to swallow them whole like the deepest pits of hell and keep them inside a special child containment unit inside their torso so that William Afton can kill them and use their spirits for experiments with Remnant, a metallic alloy of animatronic endoskeleton and child soul juice. Child soul juice, now that I think about it, sounds like something else entirely because it's used to make children and their souls, unless they're ginger. Hey, I'm allowed to say it, I'm a ginger too. I just took enough souls that it doesn't really look like it anymore. I have a picture on my Instagram, it's just bright red. And a 9 best buds. For those of you who have just looked at a picture of Funtime Freddy, you can probably see that he's not alone. The Bonnie puppet on his hand is named Bon Bon and is designed like the original Bonnie animatronic, but with the color scheme of Toy Bonnie from FNAF 2. But there is more to this puppet than meets the eye. Bon Bon actually helps calm Freddy down as seen in the Breaker Room minigame during Night 2 of Sister Location, the 5th game in the FNAF series. I don't know how an animatronic hand puppet calms another animatronic down, especially when they aren't even possessed at this point, only becoming possessed after being combined with the Remnant and creating Ennard along with the other Sister Location animatronics. The only animatronic from that game that's possessed at this point is Baby. Nevertheless, Bon Bon acts as a sort of mini conscience that also decides to kill you during another minigame in that very same game. Gotta love those killer consciousnesses. Consciousnesses? Consciousness? And it ain't taking control. The Sister Location animatronics get combined into one in the form of Ennard at the end of the game. Well, technically not, since the actual ending has you getting scooped and the endo spaghetti being shoved inside you, but the actual entity of Ennard was originally mostly controlled by Circus Baby. See the clown face and the fact that Baby was the most popular character and basically the main antagonist of the game, considering how it's your sister, because she was possessed by Elizabeth Afton, and she's the reason why you're down there in the first place. And while that's all well and good, things don't really stay that way. During the story sometime between games 5 and 6, Sister Location and Pizzeria Simulator, Baby and the rest of the Ennard clan get into a fight. After this fight, as shown in the source code for scottgames.com and fnafworld.com, Baby gets ejected or removes herself from the Ennard clan. After this, they need to find a new face, and that's where the creation of Molten Freddy comes from Pizzeria Simulator. Funtime Freddy takes control of Ennard when Baby leaves a power vacuum, and that's why Ennard goes to using a Freddy face, because it's Freddy who's controlling. And it's 7 FNAF AR. Based on a teaser released by Illumix, a company helping with special delivery, we may see Funtime Freddy making an appearance. Now, I don't know how long ago this teaser was released, so I can't really make any decent guesses as to when we will see him, or hell, he may even be already in the game at this point. But as far as I know, he has only been teased based on what I've seen on the Funtime Freddy fandom wiki page. Like, the website fandom, not like a wiki page about the Funtime Freddy fandom. Is there a Funtime Freddy fandom? I mean, enough of you asked for this video that we ended up doing it, so I'm guessing that there could be. I'm not entirely sure. Let me know down below if you're a Fun Freddy freak or a freaked Fun Freddy. The second one being that you don't like Funtime Freddy, I think. I don't know. I wrote this, but I don't know. Tell me in the comments because I'm genuinely curious. Do people actually like the Funtime animatronics? Aside from Ballora, because, like, thick. That's some Kraft peanut butter right there. Okay, that's enough. And it's 6 stuck together. Speaking of being thick. While having your best friend stick with you through thick and thin is amazing, it can still sometimes be too much and you might need a break before you actually snap their neck. But in this situation, these two puppet pals, Bon Bon and Funtime Freddy, might actually be stuck together. Looking at the blueprints for the Funtime Freddy animatronic shows us that there isn't really a hand inside of Bon Bon and it's just more wiring. That makes sense since it's literally just one robot and there's no way a giant robot hand is gonna fit into that little puppet. It's like when you see a couple and one of them is like 7 foot tall and the other one's 5 foot nothing. Oh, the amount of times I've seen that is kind of concerning. However, this is weird because FNAF VR's Night Terror room featuring Funtime Freddy, you can see that he does in fact have another hand. Can he remove Bon Bon and put another hand on? Is this an oversight by the dev team? Or is it just that this is in fact a hand inside of Bon Bon that we aren't seeing in the blueprints or wireframes? No idea. This is a facts list and I have No idea. You're welcome. Quality content. Halfway through and number 5 was Almost German. This was actually first seen in a MatPat video, I believe. At the start of one of his FNAF theories, he showed us a clip from a live stream of his that showed what the voice actor Kellen Goff originally had in mind, which was a German variation of what we hear normally, which is honestly kinda funny, but also weird. I know that everyone has been assuming this takes place in the United States, but what if it actually took place in Germany? Actually, based on everything that happens in the series, it has to be the US. Probably Florida, if I'm being honest. Can you imagine those headlines? Like, Florida man slaughters 15 children while working for Children's Pizzeria, or Florida man dresses like Golden Rabbit in order to kill kids. Honestly, that's probably a thing already, if I'm being honest. I know a bunny man. Oh, he's in my hometown. There was a whole kerfuffle, like someone made a whole bunch of fake police posters about him. I read the article. Man, the things that happened there, man, I'm telling you. Oh. Thank God I'm in Toronto. Yeah, because nothing like that happens in Toronto. Is this a FNAF list or what? And at 4, Funtime Auditorium. The Funtime Auditorium is a stage room and sister location and is the main setting for the Funtime Foxy Darkroom in FNAF VR. However, this is also the location of Funtime Freddy, who does make an appearance in the Darkroom with Funtime Foxy, and in sister location there is actually a yellow-eyed endoskeleton named Yendo, who can very rarely take the place of Funtime Foxy. Yendo seems to resemble Funtime Freddy with slightly broader shoulders and nothing other than the wire of the endoskeleton. It's very odd, and I don't think he makes an appearance in any of the other games, even in FNAF VR or Ultimate Custom Night. But it's still interesting to think that a variation of Freddy Fazbear has his own variation. Perhaps he was the prototype Funtime Freddy? What do you think the purpose of Yendo is? Is he just another endoskeleton, or was he something more? Let me know what you're thinking and your theories down below. Maybe he's the Stitch Wraith. If you guys want like a Stitch Wraith list, let me know, because that would be dope. Put it in the comments. Getting close to the end at number 3, abilities. Let's treat this like a dating profile, since you sickos love shipping animatronics with dead children. Let's meet bachelor number 1! It's Funtime Freddy! He's 6 feet tall, weighs 350 pounds, but that's all corpses, and has 6 special features. He has a proximity sensor coupled with grouping coordination to make sure your parents don't walk in on you. And he can even tell what is the best time to get a little crazy with his parental tracking and 360-degree pivot. You spin him right round, baby. And fancy something a little more interesting? Well, with his voice mimic, you can have any partner you want, but be careful of his charms. His luring abilities will have you begging for him to take you back, and with his 100% concealed storage tank, he will. Yes, killers, bachelor number 1 is a killing machine, literally. Thank you. And at 2, impractical design. I know that he's a robot from a fictional game series that might even be fictional in the game world, but come on, you have to admit that they could have been designed more practically. When we see these animatronics without their faces, or hell, even without any of their shell, there's just too much material. We've seen Endo and we've seen Yendo. Endo is a normal animatronic endoskeleton. It would be what Chuck E. Cheese robots use, or hell, it's even what Trigger Me Elmo uses. But Yendo is just clunky and huge. He has too much metal for those things to make sense. It's a waste of material and money that no company would approve of. Even if you are using them to kill kids, there is no need to add flesh to your robots. Just have the tank be hidden by the shell. And there is literally no need for the face to come apart like that, aside from it making the game scarier. You don't want kids to be afraid of these if you're trying to lure them in, okay? That makes no sense and it's incredibly impractical. Business class. It taught me something. Kind of. Finally, in at number 1, it's just an illusion. Everything is not what it seems when you have a little disc that can make you see things. You better run, cause there's trouble if you see normal things, because everything is not what it seems to. But no, with the addition of the sound illusion disc first introduced in the Twisted Ones novel, we can't really trust anything we see anymore. We know that Freddy has a disc on him, since we see it when we service him in sister location, and we know they exist outside of that since they've also been used on Michael in FNAF 4 to make him see the nightmare animatronics, unless you go by the dream/coma theory. These discs exist canonically within the series. Hell, it could even be why the Bonnie Paper Pal moves into your office in FNAF 2 and 3. It could be Springtrap using the illusion sound disc on you. It could also explain the hallucinations. Why he couldn't just make himself invisible, I'm not sure, but maybe it can't do that. Everything we know about the series could all just be because of the discs, and hell, even the discs themselves could be because of the discs. Wait, that doesn't make sense.
Number 10, pincushion. Weirdly, a circus baby has a physical feature that makes it feel as though she wasn't completely finished yet. She has pins sticking out of her arms and legs all around her, like she's some kind of animatronic pincushion. Not only is it creepy because it makes you think of a little clown girl with pins sticking out of her, but it also gives you that unsettling feeling that she's not finished yet, that there was still more work to be done on her. Like she malfunctioned and killed a little girl because there was still that work left, as opposed to being programmed for killing. But yeah, knowing William Afton, she was probably just programmed for killing. Number 9, tall. Circus Baby is one of the tallest animatronics in Sister Location, which is terrifying to think about. She's literally a giant, scary clown baby. Circus Baby is, according to her blueprint that we see in Sister Location, 7 feet 2 inches tall. That's like really tall, like basket player level of height. Taller even actually than that. She's taller than Shaq. She also is heavy and not an animatronic that you'd want to fall on you, as she might actually crush you under her weight, which is listed at 585 pounds. Wow. Number 8, Ennard. Circus Baby was the mastermind behind the terrible endoskeleton animatronic that we know as Ennard. She helped to create and came up with the plan to help the animatronics escape via Ennard by having parts of them used in its creation. And of course, Ennard is the animatronic that either leaves Circus Baby's entertainment and rental inside you, or follows you home if you survive in Sister Location. Without Baby, there would likely be no Ennard, as she seems to be the brains of this escape plan as well. Number 7, escape attempts. Speaking of escaping, near the end of Sister Location, when you enter the scooping room, if you follow Circus Baby's instructions, it will be revealed to you that Circus Baby intends to use you as a costume, like a skin costume, so that her and the other animatronics can escape Circus Baby's entertainment and rental. What you also learn is that Circus Baby knows firsthand that escaping the facility is not possible unless she is hiding in a human body, as it seems that she has in fact tried to escape before but is always returned. She says there is nowhere for her to hide in her standard form, or for the other animatronics to hide for that matter. It's scary to think what she could have accomplished during her other brief escapes before she returned to the facility. Probably nothing good though. Number 6, good at pretending. One thing that keeps coming back up in regards to the exploration of Circus Baby's character in Sister Location is that she constantly feels she has to pretend. This should have been an indication earlier on that she wasn't what she seemed actually, as it comes up pretty early. We probably shouldn't have trusted her. She also tries to get you to play pretend when she hides you in a suit with spring locks. It is her deceptiveness and cunning skills of playing pretend that often make her so frightening and dangerous as an antagonist. She appears friendly, but is really just very good at manipulating and deceiving others. Number 5, justified. What's more frightening than a villain with justifications? When a villain appears to be someone we can understand and even in some cases sympathize with or relate to, that is truly the stuff of horror gold, because it makes them feel more real, and in a twisted way, even though you might be playing against them, you may even silently root for them. In Circus Baby's case, and the case of the other animatronics belonging to Circus Baby's entertainment and rental, she wants to escape because she and her friends are tortured every night, constantly shocked by technicians who aim to force the animatronics into performing. They are trapped in the facility, and when they don't perform as expected, are either electrocuted, scrapped, or opened up and tampered with. Number 4, killed Elizabeth Afton. In Sister Location, we learn that Circus Baby actually killed the daughter of William Afton, known as Elizabeth. Well, more, we learn that she killed a little girl who is later confirmed to be William's daughter, Elizabeth. Afton warned his daughter about playing with Circus Baby as she wasn't finished yet and could be considered dangerous. Circus Baby then confirmed what he said to be true when Elizabeth snuck off anyways when her dad wasn't looking to play with Circus Baby. Baby lured Elizabeth away from the other children with ice cream, which her body is capable of storing or producing. She then gave into the urges of her programming and killed Elizabeth with her scooping arm, devouring her. Number 3, became Elizabeth Afton. As is custom often with the spooky animatronics from FNAF, after Baby killed Elizabeth, she took her spirit within herself, in essence becoming her somewhat. Elizabeth's soul then became trapped within Circus Baby and would remain trapped for some time. What we don't really know is how much of Elizabeth is actually still in there personality wise. Like, do we see any of that? But when Elizabeth died, she definitely lived on in some capacity through Circus Baby, or at least her soul did. even if we don't really get to see it. And it's believed that in Sister Location, the character you play as, Eggs Benedict, is Elizabeth's brother and William Afton's son, Michael Afton, who is attempting to save his sister's soul, which is why he takes a job as a nighttime technician at Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental. Or rental and entertainment, whichever way you want to say it. Number 2. She's gonna scoop you! At the end of Sister Location, if you follow Circus Baby's instructions, you will discover that her plan this entire time was to collect the consciousness of all the animatronics and use their parts to create Ennard. She then lures you into the scooping room and reveals, as Ennard, that she plans to scoop you next. Yay! Disemboweling you so she and the other animatronics within Ennard, within you, can escape the facility. Yikes. Number 1. Scrap Baby. In FNAF 6, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, Circus Baby makes an appearance. After escaping the Circus Baby's entertainment and rental through Ennard and being regurgitated by Michael and then later kicked out of that animatronic collective, she ends up returning to her old form. But she has fallen into disrepair and as such has become the terrifying Scrap Baby, who honestly is more terrifying than shiny polished Circus Baby any day of the week. You will have the opportunity to salvage Scrap Baby for parts in the Pizzeria Simulator should you choose, and she is one of the animatronics whose trapped soul is freed at the end of the game, which in her case is the soul of Elizabeth Afton.
Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then, so let me save you now. It's time to rest, for you, and for those you have carried in your arms.
Thank you so much for watching. What is your favorite FNAF game? Who is your favorite animatronic from Sister Location? Who do you think is more scary, Scrap Baby or Circus Baby? Or her little bitty babs? Ugh, those things creep me out. Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 Banned Roblox Games You Won't Believe. The Gaming Fox YT comments, I'm playing Roblox as you speak. Well, that's a little creepy, but I also appreciate your multitasking. All the Roblox, all at once. Jer Stan asks, how is Phil Swift pictures inappropriate? I don't know. I guess Roblox just don't want creators using real life people's images in games, maybe? Maybe that's against their code of conduct? Or maybe Phil Swift complained. Maybe he plays Roblox and he saw it. I don't know. And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and your feels shouted out in a future video. And on your way down there, give that subscribe button a click if you haven't already. This has been Top 10 Gaming and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you as always to keep on gaming on. Pew pew! It's very strange and I know she's she's an animatronic, she's a murderous animatronic, also she's based off of a little girl. There's a lot of weird things happening.
The last part was a big part.
Oh yeah.